Every January, most people make a lot of plans to carry out for the year. But you find out that as they get to February, as they get to March, the strength of those plans are wearing off. A lot of questions come to mind. Is it that I'm not disciplined enough? But the truth is not about you being disciplined. It's actually about where that plan is coming from. What is the source of that plan? What is the strength of that plan? Where are those plans coming from? Those plans coming from? I want to use this opportunity to welcome you to my YouTube channel, and I hope that we are going to have a lot of time together to have some crucial discussions and see how we can journey together to achieve something meaningful this year. My name once again is Isaiah Akinola. One of the things I'm going to be talking about is clarity is important. Clarity must come before you start planning. When I talk about clarity about what itself, like I wrote down here, I said, most people rush into actions without first identifying the context. Without identifying the subject matter of who you are, there will be a lot of bridges that will be broken as you journey through. So questions need to be asked, which is, what do I want to achieve this year? You need to be clear about it. Yeah. You need to be clear about it. You can't just say because your friend is writing these goals, this and that, then you were able to see some of these things written down and you just felt like, well, if he can do it, I can also do it. No, 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 no. No. Clarity about what you want to achieve that year. At the end of this year, what am I going to evaluate myself upon? Very, very important. Who must I become this year? Right? Because you see, goals don't actually change lives. Identity does. Your goal at the end of the day is not what will change you. No, no. You must understand who you are, your identity. What do you want to achieve? What do you stand for? What are the things that people should know you for? Those are the things that actually changes everything about you. And they help you actually align yourself to the right goals. You can channel your discipline towards the wrong goals. So your identity is important. You need to understand what you stand for. So questions need to be asked. And questions like, do I need to become more disciplined? These are things that align us to know who you actually are. What's your identity? Do I need to become more disciplined? Do I need to become more focused? Do I need to be spiritually grounded? For those that understand their faith, do I need to be spiritually grounded? And lastly, do I need to be more skillful or more emotionally matured? Very important. These questions are important for you to ask because these are things that are shaping your identity. So you must be clear about your identity. You can't just pick up plans like every other people do. I want to plan for this, I want to plan for that, I want to plan for this. I bet you will be exhausted along the way. It's just a matter of time because your identity will show up. Some of us need a change of identity. Yeah, a change of identity. Your plans should flow from who you are becoming, not actually about what you just want to achieve or what you want to accomplish. No, we should know your plans through who you are, your identity. Just because you are disciplined, there are some things you can carry out, there are some things you can do. So you must ask those questions. Like I said earlier, right? Do I need to be more disciplined? Do I need to be more focused? Do I need to be more spiritually grounded, more skillful, or more emotionally grounded? Very important. Another question you need to understand is you must understand your season. Yeah. Put it down. You must understand your season. Like I wrote down here, you must understand the season in which you are. Because every season demands something different. Because your friend is planning to do this, to read 10 books, to read 5 books, and then you are there, you don't understand your season. You don't understand the kind of season you found yourself. So you also want to read books. You also want to do this. You also want to do that. No, you need to understand your season. There are seasons definition. Just like I would say, you need to understand, are you in a building season? Right? Are you in a learning season? Are you in a stretching season? Are you in a wasting season? Are you in a healing season? You need to understand the season in which you have found yourself. So these are questions you ask yourself when you are trying to understand your identity. They are very important. Very important. Planning without recognizing your season will lead you to frustration. Serious frustration. Because you keep doing some things which are not expected of you for that season. And you keep getting frustrated. You can try it times without number simply because that season is not for you. Yeah. You keep getting frustrated. Frustrated. So, and this would help you because you are thinking you are lazy, but you are not actually lazy. You are simply in the wrong season. You are simply working with the wrong timing. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So, these things are very, very important. Understand your identity. What do I need to do more? How do I need to shape in myself? What do I need to build myself into? So that people can know this is what I stand for. And from there, you begin to identify what season am I? Which of the season have I found myself? Very important. So I've talked about clarity comes before planning. You need to understand these things. This clarity is very important. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is direction will always beat motivations. Yeah. Direction will always beat motivations. Very important. Take it again. Direction will always beat motivations. Motivation, of course, is emotional. We all know that. You can be in a particular meeting, you are highly motivated, do this, do that. You need to get up, you need to do this, you need to do that. Oh, 10 things to do, 5 things to do to get this, to get that, to get on the run. Those are motivation. Those are things to motivate you. What are you doing? Waking up and sleeping. You need to get up and walk. Those are motivations. Those are motivations. But direction will always beat motivations. Because motivation will always rise and fall. Right? Direction is intentional and it stays. Direction is intentional and it stays. Motivation is inconsistent. Always rising and falling. Is emotional. Always rising and falling. So you need to understand that direction is what you need, not motivation. Many people, right? I mean, they fall along the way simply because they are just being motivated to do it. They haven't received a clear direction. So many people fall along the way because they are just being motivated, no clear direction. They are not ready to stay. So motivation is like, I feel like doing this today. Let me just do this today. I feel like, the mindset of I feel like, no. You must understand that it goes beyond I feel like. So direction will always say, this is where my life is going, regardless of how I feel. It's not about I feel. Direction will tell you, this thing, you have to do it. You don't have to feel you want to do it. You have to do it. But motivation will keep telling you, I don't feel like reading today. I feel like, no, 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 no. You've got to do it. You've just got to do it. That's direction. Motivation fades. It's easily fade away. It's rise and fall. So when life gets busy, what do? Motivation will tell you, oh, get busy together. So when the results are slow, motivation will tell you, come on, this thing is not working. Right? So motivation works with emotion. It changes. You must understand that. It changes. changes, but direction works together with system. They work together because direction is sustained when there's a system. Direction is sustained when there is a system. And systems are simply repeatedly done. There are things you do repeatedly. Those are systems. They are systems. Things you do repeatedly, irrespective of whatever you are facing. You just have to keep doing it. Even when you don't feel it, you just have to keep doing it. That's how system works. It's a system. Just like your body is a system. When you are tired, what do? You sleep. At some point in time, you wake up because it's a system. It keeps working. It doesn't wait. It keeps working. Right? So directions are sustained with systems, and that's how you achieve progress. That's how you achieve progress. Let's say to stay sustainable, right, with whatever you want to do. These are things you need to ask yourself. What system will move my life, irrespective of the hardship? What system will move my life? So you are trying to plan for the year. What system will work, irrespective of whatever comes my way? Because when direction is clear, discipline becomes easier. When there is a clear direction, discipline is much more easy. You are able to discipline yourself. Remember, I said systems and directions, they work together to achieve progress. So when there is a system on ground, direction is clear, direction is certain, because direction is what brings systems, right? So you have this understanding, discipline will be much more easy. You are disciplined to get things done, not simply because you feel like there's a system on ground. You have to do this. After doing this, you have to do this. Just for the last point I'm going to be mentioning, one thing you want to work with is alignment. Whether spiritual, whether practical, alignment is non-negotiable. Real planning must align with whatever you believe, whatever you stand for. Your plans must align with these things. And when I talk about non-negotiable, also talking about alignment, I'm talking about your values. They must align with your plans. They must align with your plans. They must align with your beliefs. They must align with your actions. They must align with the structure you have put in place. They must align with the value you create. Right? So your plans must align with these things. They must align with what you believe. It's very important. So if you are a believer, right, there are things you must understand about God's will. There are things you must understand about God's purpose. There are things you must understand about what is God saying for now. So it's not about ambition. It's about being submitted to the will of God, right? It's not about ambition. It's about being submitted to the will of God. What is God saying now? What is God saying now? You must understand that God will always speak to you at some point in time, and it must align with what He has actually mentioned in January. It must align with it in February, in March. There must be a kind of consistency, right? There must be a kind of consistency. So, as a believer, you know that it is not about you, it's about what is God saying, your belief, your value. So, there must be alignment with your plans. They must align with your plans. So it's not just about I want to get this thing done. No. What is God saying? You have to be submissive. Yeah, submission will come into place. So you must also know that it is not about the speed, it's about the obedience. Your friends might be doing a lot, but it's about obedience for you. It's not about speed. So to achieve these things, what comes into place? You must be able to seek God's face. Your plan must have the imprint of the original plan, right? Very important. What is God's plan for your life, about you, about things that surround you, right? You must understand all of these things, because that is how you'll be able to run aligned. So you won't say, Let's say, for example, in the middle of the year, oh, God has been telling me these things, I've forgotten, I did not even put it into play. Oh, now is the right time. And it is going against what you already planned for January. That's wrong. That's wrong. So all of these things must come into play, because at some point in time, these are things that actually show up and then get some of us exhausted of the original plan you had, because all of these things were not put into consideration. Yeah. So your value is important. Your faith, your belief, they must align with your plans. So you ask questions like, what do I actually value? What do I actually value? What do I actually believe? What are the things that I relate with? So you must understand that. I've said a lot as regard that. Misalignment, of course, creates exhaustion. You finally get exhausted along the way, because as you journey, you begin to see other things show up. Maybe some of the things that aligns to your belief, your structure, the kind of person you are. If you haven't answered that question before you start planning, before you start putting things into play, you will have to give excuse for them so that they can come in, and then they will obstruct you. They will die down the energy. They will put an end to some of the zeal you have. All right. They'll put an end to some of the zeal you have. So clarity is important in defining our plan. And these things actually show up in who we become. So you must be able to understand your identity, just like I said. Very important. You must be able to understand the season you find yourself. These are the things that make up your identity. I believe you've been able to learn one or two things. Very important. And I also mentioned that direction is important. Direction is important. It's not enough for you to be motivated. You need to stay with direction. And the last thing I mentioned is alignment. Alignment is very important. Perhaps you have made a lot of plans. This is the end of January. Now is still the right time for you to sit down again and work with these three major principles. They are foundational principles to look at when you want to plan for the year. Very important. Understand your identity, who you are. Understand that motivation is not enough. You need direction. And lastly, it's important for you to align every of these plans with your core values, with your belief, with your faith, with your structure. The things that resonate with you is very important. So I want to believe that this has been helpful. If this has been helpful enough, I would like you to please do well to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share this with someone. I believe it's going to be impactful in their lives. I believe so. I believe so. Once again, I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Uh, the next subject we are going to be discussing on, and it's very important, they are foundational principles. We are going to be basically talking about these systems. I mentioned it earlier while I was talking about direction, how it's important for us to work with systems. So we're going to be talking about systems for our next video. I look forward to seeing you. Till then, if you have questions, you are not sure about some things, you would like to have direct response to some questions, you can make use of the comment section, and from there we pick it up. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you next time.